All right. All right. I think we're live. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to stream very long, I don't think. I don't know how many people are even going to show up to this thing, but I'm tired and today was pretty annoying, I can't lie. I mean, there's some great stuff from today's game, but it is really annoying that we just cannot finish the job on this team. Having had so many great opportunities to beat them when it matters over the last couple of years. And one way or the other, you just find a way to not do it. Penix might be out too. Yeah, I did hear that, and London too. I don't think we draft a quarterback in 26. This quarterback class is not very good. Ugh. All right, so what do you guys want to talk about? I don't feel like going through chapter and verse of this game. It's pretty obvious what happened out there. The defense played really, really well. Offensive line was okay. K9 was good. Running game was okay in general. JSN and Barner were great. And Darnold pooped on top of the toilet lid. And it's look, I don't want to make too big a deal out of one game, and I do want to reiterate here that at the end of the day, Sam Darnold is not some uber franchise QB, and we know it. And look, I'm gonna say this, and I hope you guys take this to heart. Turnovers don't really matter that much. Like turnovers are not really something that I place very much weight on when it comes to evaluating a quarterback or a player or whatever. To me, turnovers are just kind of one element of many, and really not that big of an element. But today, when you've got turnovers and you can't perform in the red zone, and you're handing the other team more almost as many points as you're scoring, there's nothing else to say. So I understand the frustration. I think some of it's going to be a little misplaced today, but overall, I do think that there is a lot of validity to the question, to asking the question, is Sam Darnold the guy you want to hitch your wagon to long term? I'm not saying I don't think that he is. I am saying I think it's a valid question. Well, to me, turnovers only matter if it's preventing your team from scoring points. And Seattle has a top 5 scoring offense. So how can I freak out about the turnovers when Sam Darnold is having all the turnovers, but we still have a top 5 scoring offense? Like that's the thing to me. And think about all those years where Josh Allen would lead or almost lead the league in turnovers, and Buffalo would still have one of the best offenses, and Josh Allen would be regarded by everybody as a top 3 QB. Like, if turnovers were some end all be all, none of that stuff would be happening. Who do we want to win, Lions or Eagles? Well, it doesn't matter now. The Lions are going to lose. This game's pretty over. Wow, they're actually trying to... it's only 54. That's not terrible. I mean, here's the concern with Darnold as we go into the second half of the season. Is he a scheme baby? Is Sam Darnold a scheme baby? And I think that after that game, it's a valid question. And we've had quarterbacks in Seattle for a while now that were not scheme babies. Russell Wilson and Geno Smith, you just put them on the field, give them the ball, and they'll find a way to make things happen. It's not always going to result in a win. It's not always going to result in the desired result, but they can go play hero ball. And you can't say that about Sam Darnold right now. When you put him in an unfavorable situation where he has to drop back to pass a lot, which we have not done very much this year to our credit, but when it happens, it's unfathomably bad. How long am I streaming for? Probably a little less than an hour. I usually don't stream this late. I wanted to let my post-game video sit up for a couple of hours on its own, though. Yeah, Zabel, I don't even know who our backup left guard is. Today it was Christian Haynes, but it's not Christian Haynes. Christian Haynes isn't even a left guard at all. I don't know. We've got 7 more games and then the playoffs to figure out what Sam Darnold is, but today I do feel like we have to learn something from this. He's not, he's not a hero ball quarterback. Mm. The man can't play hero ball, and that's fine. We're not paying him hero ball money. But you get him in those bad situations. You fall behind early. You put him in a situation where he has to throw a lot, and you get what you get. And I have a hard time defending any of the turnovers today, right? Like all 4 interceptions. It looked like Darnold did something excessively dumb. So I don't think there's any really defending it. Okay, Detroit could actually get this ball back. This game's not completely over yet. There is going to be some fraudulent messaging here, I think, because we haven't beaten a good team yet, but I'm not really that worried about that. Like the media is going to think what they think. It doesn't change how good or bad we are. It doesn't change what we are as a team, and I still think this team can be very good, but today was just really disappointing because I just cannot shake the feeling that we learned a little something about Darnold's ceiling today, and it's not very good. Like the interceptions are just a small piece of it. Like think about those last 2 drives where Seattle's down and they need to score quickly and they're just moving lethargically. And I look at that and I go, does this team know how to run a 2-minute drill? And then I ask myself, who does that reflect on? Is that the quarterback? Is that the offense in general? Is that the coordinator? I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things where I really do feel like that was a reflection of us just not really having a healthy 2-minute offense because possibly Darnold struggles to run that kind of stuff. And we've had like I said, our last two quarterbacks were good at that kind of stuff. And Darnold hasn't happened yet. But there's still plenty of season left, and this stuff can change. This stuff can get better. It's just, it's hard for me to. It's hard for me to get that image out of my head of the offense just like jogging up and wow, Detroit's actually maybe. Oh no, a flag. That's gonna end the game, more or less. Yeah, that's ball game. It's just one of those things where there's no way we're going to be able to get through the rest of this season without Darnold and the offense getting put in that 2-minute drill, go down and win the game situation. And I want to know that we can execute in it. We've executed in it like once this year in terms of an end of game situation. And it was the Arizona game where we only needed to complete one pass. And then we had the field goal range. Hey, Cockin. Or Kokin. Wow. Okay. So Eagles do win. Yeah, that punt doing that was really bad luck. That was very bad luck. That was a really, really incredible punt to the point where it couldn't possibly have been like intentional. Monaco, thank you for the sub. Welcome to the channel. Bo Nix sucks. I don't want Bo Nix. Bo Nix would be so bad on this team. Bo Nix on this team would be like Sam Howell, I think. Hey, Knight, how you doing? So yeah, what else can we say? What else can we say? What do you think Seattle should do this upcoming draft? Edge rusher, maybe right guard. I think we need a running back possibly at some point. Couple other things, but the thing is, after that punt goes out of bounds at the 1, why is Sam Darnold taking these dinky little checkdowns in the middle of the field? Like, I don't know. It was like a lack of situational awareness. I don't know. It's going to be hard for me to get that image out of my head the rest of the year. That he thought that was a good use of his plays in that situation. It's not. Yeah, cornerback. Do you think if Gino was playing, we would have won the Gino from this year? Maybe. I don't know. The Gino from last year? Absolutely. Yeah, CJ Allen would be nice. At this point, do you have faith in Sam Darnold come playoff time? I have faith in this team to not put him in bad situations. I have faith in this team to not fall behind by multiple scores and force him to throw the ball a lot. I don't know if I have faith in him to play hero ball effectively. Oh, game over. Okay, I thought Detroit was going to get the ball for like one play. Through mad red zone INTs? No, he didn't. He only did that his last year. And also, red zone interceptions are better than the interceptions that Darnold threw today that handed the Rams 14 free points. Something to think about. I don't understand the whole discourse around red zone interceptions. I'd rather throw a red zone interception than an interception that hands the other team a free touchdown. I think Reek played fine. I didn't notice that. I think he gave up like one catch that I remember. Like the touchdown, maybe he put it the touchdown, like I don't really put that on him. You think Broncos are frauds? I don't think the Broncos are frauds. I just think Bo Nix stinks. I just think Bo Nix is like the most fraudulent quarterback in the league. The Rams corners seem to play us pretty well. I did kind of notice that. Better than I would have expected. Would have been a great game for Shaheed to take the top off at some point and never happened. Oh, it could have been Darnold's fault as much as anything else. Gino way better in 2 minutes than Darnold. I don't even know if Darnold knows how to have a 2-minute drill the way the game worked today. Like, that was so bad. It almost makes me wonder, does Sam Darnold know how to run a 2-minute drill? I don't know what that was. How cooked are we if Gray Zabel's injury is season ending? It looked bad. Yeah, I don't even know who our backup left guard is. So I think we're hoed. I think we might be hosed if Gray's out for the year. I don't even know what we do. It's probably Christian Haynes. And Christian Haynes isn't even a left guard. So I think that, I mean, we can still be a good team and make the playoffs because of the defense, but that cripples your off. I don't think the offense can really come back from that. Can a fraud go 8-2? Yes. Guys, do you guys not understand what words mean? A fraud can be 12-0. A fraud can be 17-0. Jackson Dart is going to have like a 2-year career in the NFL, though, because he keeps getting concussions. In terms of how this could affect Sam's confidence going forward, how much of that concerns you for the upcoming games? Not really. It's not a matter of his confidence. It's more just a matter of his ability. Yeah, I saw the Naylor news. That was great. That's pretty cool. Josh Jones can't kick inside the guard. That might happen too. That might happen too, but Josh Jones is kind of your backup at both tackle spots. I don't know if you want to put him in. You might want to preserve your backup tackle. Or, yeah, because it's both ends. You think Jalen Carter looks like Stacey Abrams? I guess. I never really thought about it that hard. Man, our game was better than that game, and our game wasn't even that good. See, like the Eagles are a great team, but they're terrible to watch. Should stop putting them on prime time. This is not a fun team to watch. We need a new kicker after this year. I do agree, although I will say I think that Myers played really well today. I do want to be a year too early rather than a year too late on Myers. I'm tired of having one of the highest paid kickers in the league. And he's not one of the best kickers in the league. Like, you got kickers out there right now who make 65 yarders, and it's not even that big of a deal. How much of Sam Darnold's play was psychological or just bad decision making? I don't know how to describe it because they were such bad decisions, such atrociously bad decisions. Myers has made 60 yarders before. He's got a pretty big leg. It's just it's not as big as like a Cam Little leg. And I want one of those Cam Little type guys, man. I want guys who are dangerous from anywhere on the field. Do you think that Darnold will be our quarterback next year? Almost certainly. Price Gen, almost certainly. Very unlikely that we eat all that dead money when we don't have another good solution, right? We have Drew Lock and Jalen Milroe. Both those guys aren't good. And the draft is not going to be good for quarterbacks either. Do you think we win that game if that final Rams punt goes a foot further into the end zone? Yeah, probably. But we should have been able to win the game anyway. There was plenty of time left. We could have made up for that easily. Easily, we could have made up for that with the time we had left if Darnold and the offense and Kubiak or whoever messed up that situation actually ran a real 2-minute drill. We had plenty of time to get down there and kick a field goal. And for some reason, we acted like we had all the time in the world. Does your dad have a YouTube or socials? He's mostly on Facebook, Van City. I know. Most young people don't use Facebook. What's your favorite Warhammer faction? I don't know the names super well because the only Warhammer game I played significantly is Total War 3 Warhammer. And I play as the Empire, which is kind of a boring faction because I'm still just learning the game. What do they call them? The Nurgle? I like those guys. Those guys are fun. Why do the Rams just know our number? They own us, and it seems like they don't even need to try. I don't even really feel like it's like that. Like, the Rams are just really good this year. It's not like they lose to everybody else and then beat us. Hey, Drop Top. What are we not talking about? How there was a missed call on JSN at the end? I guess. I didn't think it was that bad of a missed call, though. I didn't think it was worth making a big deal out of. You still have faith in John Schneider? Look, John Schneider is going to be the general manager here for a long time. He just got extended. So even if I do have criticisms of Schneider, and I do, there's no moving on from Schneider. We could lose out, and John Schneider is still our GM. You still program on your end? Not lately, not right now. How good are you at data structures and algorithms? I took that class 15 years ago. So, you know. I mean, it was a super obvious miss and would have added like 50% chance to that field goal attempt. I don't know. I was watching the game at a bar in a giant crowd, so maybe it was worse than I thought. I didn't think it was that egregious, and they did give us the PI one play later. I don't know. Maybe. I didn't get the sense that it was some like the the Witherspoon thing on the first drive of the game. That made me angry. But that, I don't know. Were you a UW student when Steve Sarkisian was the UW coach? No. God, I was a student when Keith Price was the quarterback. Oh, I'm sure he was. I know JSN was held. I know JSN was held. I'm just not so sure how egregious it was. I don't know if that's something that... I don't know if it was like a 60-40 call or a 90-10 call. Again, I watched the game in a crowded bar with a lot of people, and they were handing out raffle ticket awards to people and stuff. No, I don't live in Covington. Do you think the Seahawks extending JS mean the Seahawks are close to being sold? Not necessarily. Was your major computer science? Are you afraid by AI? What do you mean? I guess. All right, guys. I'll be back in just 1 minute. Before we go any further, I want to tell you a little bit about my friends over at Sleeper, as well as get some picks in. Are you using the Sleeper app this year for daily fantasy football? If not, you are missing out. Let's just take a look over on the left side of the screen now. Look at all the fun stuff you can get up to over there. Look at all the great stuff you can pick on. Let's get some picks in for this week. I've got Chan with an anytime touchdown against Washington. I've got Josh Allen with 2 or more passing touchdowns against Tampa Bay. Cooper Kupp revenge game against the Rams over 29.5 receiving yards, and Ashton Jeanty with over 58.5 rushing yards against Dallas. So get on over to Sleeper, use promo code SBN, and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Get your picks in and test your football knowledge. No, yeah. I've met Norbcam many times though, so it's not the first time he's met me. No, Kupp had 2 catches. He didn't hit, but he had 2 catches. I tried though. It made sense that Kupp would. I didn't think that Sam Darnold was going to have the worst game of his life. You know, what do you want? Best Arby's item right now. They brought back the potato cakes full time, which I really like. Thoughts if we waste JSN's possible historic seasons with a first round exit? I mean, it's possible. And if it happens, then that's really too bad. And we have to evaluate the reasons why it happens, if it happens. But we are a ways away from that. Was Sark the coach? Maybe. Dude, the Huskies were not very good when I was going to UW. I know that. They were I think Jake Locker was the quarterback for part of it. And I don't think Sarkisian was there when Locker was there. You think Zabel is out for the year? I can't speculate on that. What was Norb Cam saying about the game? He was doing like some MC stuff. Mostly just kind of generic stuff, not um, really getting too deep into anything. He's talking to a large audience over a PA, basically. So nothing too intricate, just talking about what's going on in the game. Yeah, we don't know how bad Zabel's injured yet. There's no way we could until tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start getting an idea. Guys, most players requesting trades in the NFL doesn't happen that often. Seahawks edits, and remember, he was a first-round pick. He's going to want that extension ASAP. I wouldn't worry about it. Not for a while. I mean, why would JSN demand a trade? Yeah, I don't know why he would too. Also, there's that element too. Like, unless like, well, what is he going to demand a trade to the Chiefs or something and be like, if I'm not making the Super Bowl, I want out? I mean, I don't know. Do you guys think that DK is happy with his decision? Do you guys think that DK is happy with his decision to go to Pittsburgh? Clearly a worse team than Seattle so far this year. Maybe he's fine that because he got his money. Maybe, but if I'm DK, he's not even really putting up numbers this year because of the Arthur Smith offense. And now he really doesn't have a quarterback because Aaron Rodgers is hurt. Like, I don't know. I'll bet DK isn't thrilled. Yeah, Raheem Morris needs to get fired immediately. I mean, there are only a few teams that are more of a contender than Seattle is right now, guys. Like the Rams, the Eagles, the who else? Maybe the Broncos. I think the Broncos are frauds, but whatever. That maybe them. There are not that many. Ugh. Hey Herman, thoughts on Penix? You think he's living up to the first round status? No. Penix sucks. Penix is like actually bad, and even when he's good, he can't stay healthy. You think Kubiak was to blame for some of Darnold's struggles? I don't think Kubiak did anything that wrong. Maybe he let Darnold throw the ball too much, but we fell behind early and played from behind the whole game. Would you consider giving OBJ a tryout? No. No. Why would we do that? Devontae Adams had one catch for 1 yard. I actually didn't know that. Did your thoughts change about us winning the division with today's loss? I mean, a little bit, but it's still doable. We're going to get the Rams again. And, I don't think there's any reason to give up on any higher aspirations yet. And even if I did, we're still going to play out these games, right? Like, what's the point? Well, okay, so the fake Barner tush push, that had to be a mistake, right? That had to be a mistake because Barner ran the tush push, but the guys behind him ran routes. It had to have been a mistake because they ran the tush push without the most important part. Like, it ended up being a quarterback sneak with no pushing. So I think that had to be somebody didn't know what the play was. So I don't think that was Kubiak's fault either, really. Is it time to drop Cooper Kupp? No. He has a role to play on this team, and he's going to get paid anyway. Like, there's still stuff that Cooper Kupp brings to the table. Like, especially with Horton out now for a little bit, probably. Thoughts on the 49ers? Are they good? They're very well coached, and that allows them to win a lot of games that they shouldn't be able to win, but I think eventually it'll catch up to them. Tampa Bay's so beat up, though. I don't think they can win. That's really a lot to ask. The AFC is so weak. I actually think the Chiefs are going to get in as a wild card and then go to the Super Bowl. I actually think that they're going to let the Chiefs sneak in here. If we lose to the Titans, where would your head be at? Oh, at that point, it'd be like, well, whatever. At that point, it's like, who even really cares that much? Is that our division hopes? I don't think so. But I don't really have any concern about that. Ugh. Anything else? Anything else worth talking about from that game today? Oh, wow. Bears are going to get to play the Steelers with no Rodgers, probably. So their schedule got a little bit easier. Where does our defense rank in the NFL? I don't know if there's a defense out there I'd rather have other than Denver. Where would we be at if we went out? We'd be in a really good place. I don't really know what to say other than that. Ugh. How about Houston's defense? Maybe. They don't have a good offense to back them up. So that one's pretty good too, but I think Denver's got the best defense. I'm trying to decide if I want to stream tonight or if I just want to go to sleep. I mean on Twitch. I am kind of tired, but I also want to stream. Did we miss Jaron Reed on this one? It didn't really feel like it that much. Maybe a little bit with the run defense, but only a little bit. I don't think we can really say that much there. Maybe it would have helped the run defense a little bit. I'm going to the Colts versus Seahawks game. Oh, cool. You think Woolen may stay if we go deep in the playoffs? I don't think us going deep in the playoffs changes whether or not he stays or not. And I do think it's unlikely. Playing any cool games lately? Mostly Power Wash Simulator. The new one that just came out, Power Wash Simulator 2. And I've also been playing some Banjo-Kazooie. I'm trying to beat Banjo-Kazooie because I've never beaten it. That game's hard, by the way. I always play these old platformers, like platformers that are like 25, 30, 35 years old. And I always think they're going to be really easy because they were made for little kids. But they're not. Those games are not easy at all. Like Banjo-Kazooie's a pain in the butt. Mostly because of the camera, but even beyond that, you have to get so many freaking puzzle pieces. Like you have to get almost all the puzzle pieces. How do you feel about Jason Myers now? I mean, he's fine, but I want to move on after this year. I don't want to hold on to him until he falls apart. Do you think we will redesign our uniforms since it's been so long? I'm fine with our current uniforms. I'm not a big uniform guy. I'm fine with what we have. Dante Moore. He's probably going to be a first round pick, is the thing, because people are hyping him. I think he's going to go too high for us to pick him. Assumptions on Zabel's injury. It looked bad. But I'm not going to give exact details. And also, this QB class sucks. So a guy like Dante Moore that probably shouldn't get drafted super high is going to get drafted high. Like normally I think Dante Moore would be like a third round pick, but he's going to be a first round pick. Yeah, I heard about that NFC West media. That was a few hours ago. Do you think we beat the Colts? Probably not, but we need to see how I feel when we get to that game. Colts are a tricky team. They're doing such cool stuff offensively, but I do think you can move the ball on them. Is there an offensive lineman you think the Seahawks should take in the first round? Not really. This is not a very good draft for the offensive line, especially the interior. I think the tackles, maybe. There's some stuff going on at tackle that's good, but the interior's not good, so no, not really. Maybe we take a tackle and slide him inside, but it's hard to know who those guys are right now. 2027? I don't know what the 2027 class has yet. We're a long way away from that. Do you think Sam Darnold will ever improve his issues with turnovers? Not really, because he's always had it. He's always been a high turnover guy. But here's the thing: turnovers are not that big of a deal. Like, turnovers are fine. Like, I I really don't care about turnovers, and I don't think that as a fan of a football team you should either, because they don't really do that much to affect you winning or losing games. The problem is not turnovers. The problem is not scoring points. What about Proctor from Bama? Who? I don't know who you're talking about, Edits. You think CJ Allen will be there for us? Yeah, he could be. And I do like him. That's not a bad idea at all. CJ Allen, both Ohio State linebackers are going to be first round picks, I think. There's the Texas guy, Anthony Hill. That's a bold take on turnovers. I mean, Sam Darnold's on pace to have the most turnovers by any Seahawks quarterback in a very long time. And I don't think that means Darnold's playing the worst of any Seahawks quarterback in a long time. And look at Josh Allen. Look at Josh Allen. That guy used to turn it over constantly. He would always be near the league lead in turnovers. But everybody knew he was one of the best QBs in the league because turnovers are not that big of a deal. Oh, the tackle from Bama. I'm not following tackles this year. And I'm assuming that Proctor is going to be a really high draft pick because the Alabama offensive linemen always go high. Would Justin Tucker be an upgrade over Myers? I don't know. He hasn't kicked in a while, hasn't he? Well, yeah, the interceptions today were a big deal, but think about it. Like, if we are actually effective in the red zone, like if we don't settle for all those field goals, if we actually get in the end zone on drives into the red zone, we still win the game by multiple scores. Like, there's a very good chance, Sam Darnold ends up leading the league in turnovers for quarterbacks this year. I don't think anybody's going to argue that if that happens, Sam Darnold is therefore the worst quarterback in the league. I don't know, it's overstated. It's part of a much bigger picture, and I think a lot of football fans make it the whole picture. Like, you're going to have possessions in games. You're going to get like 10 or 11 possessions, and some of those possessions are going to end in points. Some of them are going to end in punts. Some of them are going to end in turnovers. What really matters is how many drives you get that end in points. You can overcome turnovers easily if you're actually scoring points like Josh Allen does. And like Sam Darnold has for most of this season. Sam Darnold, even last year, turned the ball over a pretty decent amount. And even before today, Darnold was averaging more than one turnover a game. But we had a top 5 scoring offense, so who cares about turnovers? Now, today, we turned it over, and we couldn't score, and we couldn't finish in the red zone, and we also couldn't run a competent 2-minute drill at the end of the game when we needed urgency and had none. So it's really bad, but if it had just been the turnovers, you still could have actually won this game going away with the 4 interceptions. A bigger problem than turnovers is a quarterback who is so scared of turning the ball over that he never uses the middle of the field and never tries to fit the ball into a tight window or never throws with anticipation. That is a much bigger problem than the turnover itself. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I think Kubiak's going to be an appealing candidate next year, and there aren't going to be a lot of appealing candidates. That's the thing. Like, I feel like most years you have at least a few guys in college that are like a few guys in college that everyone's like, oh, that guy's going to come to the NFL and be a really good coach and a really hot prospect. I don't know who those guys are this year. Like, I don't think Dan Lanning's going to the NFL. We know that the Indiana guy, Kurt Siglinelli or whatever his name is not coming up. Like, maybe Sarkeesian, but probably not. Yeah, Justin Fields has thrown one interception this year. And he's still probably the worst QB in the league. I will live with turnovers as long as you're actually pushing the ball down the field. And actually willing to fit the ball into a tight window and use the middle of the field. If Kubiak does walk, who can we get? You could go get like Daboll, maybe Brian Daboll. You could go get, if McDaniel gets fired, him. Could promote from within someone under Kubiak who could implement a similar offense. There are options. And I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. We got to get to the end of this season first. Maybe by the time we get there, Kubiak's not going to be appealing. Biggest need in the draft in 2026. I really want a blue chip edge. So much so that I'm okay with the idea of trading all of our picks for Crosby. But it's going to be hard to get blue chip anything with our pick being relatively late. All right, guys. I'm going to go and get out of here. I think I'm going to try to cook up a stream on Power Wash Simulator 2. Somebody earlier asked, is it really good? If you like the first one, it's basically an improved version of the first one. I really do like it. It's not for everybody, obviously. Like, you should definitely know the kind of game that it is before you buy it. But I like it. I like co-oping it. So, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Frustrating game today for sure, but also some encouraging stuff. I'll see you guys. I should be live on Twitch in a little bit here, by the way. So come over to my Twitch and hang out. We'll play until I get tired, I guess.